After what feels like an absolute eternity, the maze layout is finally complete. Hey everyone, how you doing? Jay here. Welcome back to 7 Days to Die, Alpha 19. I have no idea what episode we're on anymore because this maze, quite frankly, has melted my brain. I don't know what's going on anymore, but would you look at it? Look at the magnificence of this thing. I need to still build it, of course, but the hardest part, for me at least, was getting the path laid out. If you can sort of have a quick look at the thing as it's laid out right now, it might be easy to show you before the walls are up, but if you look at the bottom right, you will see an entrance, and if you look at the top left, you will also see an entrance. There is a path that goes all the way through this thing and will get you there. I haven't tried running it myself because I figured what's the point while there's no walls in place, so we'll have a look at that a bit later on. But you have no idea how long I've spent on this thing. It has drove me nuts. I had a picture on the screen. I have two monitors in front of me. I have the game on one side, I had the picture of the maze on the other, so I was constantly referring back and forth to it. During the night, every time I was making a bit of progress with it, I was getting attacked by a bunch of zombies. At one point I shot one with a shotgun, which blasted a hole in the floor and destroyed some of the paint. So then I was trying to think, okay, well, where have I gone wrong? It was a whole debacle. But like we mentioned in previous episodes, if you want something to be good, if you want something that's going to be cool and a little bit different, sometimes you have to put a little bit extra work into it. So looking at it right now, this is the layout for the maze. I'm very, very excited to kind of get into this, but that's not a plan for right now. We will do some wall building on this later on, but I'll just get rid of these frames here that I conveniently placed so that I could show you a decent aerial shot of the maze. And today, what we're planning on doing first off is we're going to go and do a job for Jen, because I've been doing maze stuff all night long. It's been getting really frustrating, and quite frankly, I want to go and kill a bunch of zombies, so why don't we start the day with that? If you're not subscribed already, please consider doing so. I usually say that kind of stuff at the end of an episode, but I'm kind of mixing a few things up here. Of course, like the video as well if you are liking it so far. This maze is the biggest challenge that I've ever done, and it's something I'm absolutely kind of loving and kind of hating at the same time. It's a little bittersweet for me right now, but I think it will be worth it in the end. I guess we'll find out on Horde Night. But as we make our way over to the place that we're going to be raiding today to start off the episode, I mentioned in the previous episode that once the maze was done, I would be looking to make a more permanent base. So that's something that I'm still working on a few ideas for. If you have any ideas, go ahead and drop them in the comments and we'll have a look at what those ideas are. Have we been to this house before? I feel like we raided this house recently, right? We definitely raided this house recently. Do you know what? We've already done this house before. I don't want to do the same thing as the last episode. Let me clear this place out. I'll bring you back for the good loot, and then we'll go and find a different job. Come on, Jane, give us a more variety of work, will you? Alright, so we've made it to the main loot area. Let's check what we've got this time. Decent bit of ammo. Some more food, okay. Another food box, and what's in the main chest? Not too bad of stuff. However, going through the building, we did find a few books that we didn't know. So we've got Bar Brawling Volume 2, which is awesome. We've got the Tech Junkie Volume 4, and the rocket launcher schematic. Oh wow, I didn't even look at that one. That's awesome. We could look at making ourselves a rocket launcher at some point. I'll read these two we already know. As you can see, the job is done. So I'm going to head back to Jen. And then hopefully she'll give us something different to do. But to be honest, we have got to start building the maze at some point too, so who knows, maybe we'll do the maze for a bit and then maybe we'll come back and do another job. I'll decide between now and then. So here we are, back at Jen's trailer for the first time today. Maybe we'll head back here a bit later on, but I think it is probably a good idea to start building the walls of the maze. So let's see what we get for our prize first.
You again. I'm starting to think you like Dr. Jen.
Jen, I think you're pretty cool, actually. I'm not sure where you're going with that, but maybe. Right, do you know what? Let's take the first aid kits. I know there's a Magnum there. I've already got one. I'm not going to use it, so why not take the first aid kits? We'll grab another job while we're here. There's a fetch and clear that is nearby. Oh, we've already done the church one. What else you got?
I'd be glad to take my commission.
Let's take one that's a bit further away then, just to mix it up. A skyscraper. Fair enough, we'll do the skyscraper one. Right, let me drop some stuff off with Jen. We'll head to the base and pick up our supplies for the maze. Alright, supplies have been gathered. We've grabbed our hammer, we've grabbed our rebar frames, and we've grabbed quite a fair amount of the concrete mix that we've been making over the last week or so. I did say I was going to be kind of doing that in the background. Obviously, we've got a couple of concrete cement mixes rather on the go. So at the minute I've got 8,000 concrete mix on me. I've got a bit more back at the base. I have no idea how much this whole thing is going to make, but what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to get the first layer of the maze placed down, and then we'll see where we go from there. So let me go ahead and start placing a few of these things, and then hopefully this thing starts to look good with the walls in. I'm very happy with the layout of it. It's going to be interesting to see what it looks like when I'm actually in the thing. Alright, so the entire first layer of the rebar frames just around the outside took 158 rebar frame blocks to fill it. Obviously got a gap here and a gap that side. This thing is going to be incredibly resource heavy, and we knew that going in obviously, but I'm just now starting to realise just how much concrete I'm going to need to fill this whole thing. Will this be ready by day 49? I honestly don't know. It all depends if I've got enough concrete. The good news is we've got augers, so me and Ed gathered a lot of resources the other day, so I'd already been working on a fair bit of concrete mix, but if needs be I can spend the next couple of days doing the same thing. I've got plenty of gasoline from that trip we took to the desert, so I don't need to worry about that. It's just going to be quite the grind, so I'm going to go ahead and get this first layer put in, see what the damage looks like in terms of concrete powder used, and then we'll come back and have a look and see what we can figure out. So we got 73,920 XP for that entire outer wall, and we used just over 3,000 concrete mix, meaning that in order to get this thing 3 high on the outside alone, I'm going to need about 9,100 concrete mix, and that's before we've even put in the inside walls. This thing is, well, I said it was going to be ridiculous, didn't I? Let's be honest. I did say this was going to be an incredibly ridiculous project, and do you know what? Once it's all done, I think I will definitely appreciate it a bit more. But it just means that the next few nights, I've got a lot of grinding to be doing. So I've only got the 2 concrete cement mixers, rather. I don't know why I keep calling them concrete mixers. I think it's the same thing. I've only got 2, but I think we're going to need to get a few more on the go, just so it speeds up the whole process of making the concrete mix. So I'm going to get the next layer put down for the frames. I'll bring you back when the frames are down so you can get an idea of what this thing looks like, and then we'll do the first layer of walls. Mix wise, we've got just shy of 5,000 on us, but I have got a couple more thousand back at the base if I need to go and grab them. But yeah, lots of work to be done today, so I'll bring you back when the next layer is in. So we've used all 8,000 of our concrete mix, and this is the result so far. We're not doing too bad. We've still obviously got a couple more levels in height to go, but if you look at how much concrete mix we're going to need, just to get 2 more layers of this is going to be another 16,000 concrete mix, and that's before we even look at this side. So we have got so much more concrete mix we need to make. So that means we've got a lot of mining that we need to do. Now, with us having the auger, it does make things 10 times easier. And one of the good things about the last few episodes, especially ones where Ed was around, is we did a fair bit of mining to get rid of a lot of this area. So I'm going to head back to our base. I'm going to start gathering some resources, see if we can make any more cement mixes. If not, we're going to grab what we can and make some more concrete mix. But I need to mine for the rest of this night, and I need to make it count because we've only got 4 days until Horde Night, and if I want this thing ready by then, I've got a lot of work to do. So I decided instead of spending the night in the mines, I would spend the night outside mining. So I've been going around and taking apart these boulders, and we're not doing too bad. We've got just shy of, what's that, 15,000 worth of stone, which isn't too bad. I've got a bunch more concrete mix being made back at the base. I had enough materials on me to make 5 more cement mixes. I could have done more, but I did want to keep some of the engines that we had in case we need them for bases and stuff. So we'll go back and grab what materials have been crafted. Now, I will need a fair amount of sand as well, but to be honest, I'm trying to debate between whether going back to the desert is a better idea or whether just actually turning some of these stones into sand is a better idea. I think it's going to be the second option because we could just do that here. It is a 1-for-1 ratio and it would just be probably quicker than driving to the desert and back. So I've got a few ideas in terms of what we can do to gather extra resources. I've got this forge going here, which is currently putting 12,000 lot of stone into the forge, which will be converted to cement. I've got these 2 cement mixers working hard as well, pumping out some concrete mix. The 3 out here, so at the moment I've got about 7,000 more being crafted before we even look at the materials I've got on me. So making some good progress. Also, it's day 46, which means the trader will have been reset, so maybe Jen has some concrete for sale. But anyway, got a lot more grinding to do, so I'm going to get back to that and we'll go back when Jen is open. Just in time for Jen to open. Right, let's go and see if she has any concrete mix for us, because we definitely want that. Maybe some cement as well. And see if she's got anything new. It is day 46 after all.
What are you buying today?
Well, let's have a look, Jen. First off, secret stock. We have to check that every time first. And there is a book we don't know, so we will definitely be taking that one. There's another book we don't know, automatic weapons. We'll take that as well, so we can craft M60 machine guns. Wow, okay. That could be potentially huge. Anything else? Not too bad on the books there. Right, just have a quick look through the rest. Ammunition-wise, not too bad. We've got a load of ammunition back at the base, so we're not going to worry too much about that. About building stuff, though, and resources, that's what we're really here for. So, it's not a lot, but I'll take it. We're better than nothing, I suppose. Have you got any rebar frames or anything like that? You do not. It's not the worst, Jen. I was hoping to get a little bit more, but you know what? We will make do with what we've got. We've still got 21,000.
I hope you get feeling better.
I'm feeling pretty good. I hope that we have got enough to get everything done by day 49. The deadline is getting closer, and if I'm being honest with you, I'm starting to panic and wonder if it's going to be ready or not. If it isn't ready, then we have to fall back on a horde base we've already got, and well, you seen how that went last time. So fingers crossed we do alright, but let's go and lay what we already have on us, and then after that we'll see where we end up. Maybe we'll go and see Trader Bob, see if he has anything fun. We've ran out of concrete mix again, but we are getting a lot closer to the end, so we're doing alright. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to get on the bike. I'm going to go and pay Trader Bob a visit. Hopefully he has a lot of concrete mix for us. If not, hopefully he has some good books for us. Speaking of books, the book that we just read there, the mining one, tried to say mining and book at the same time there, that's always fun, was the last mining book we needed, meaning that our mining level is now level 7, so we have a 20% chance to one-hit any ore. That is going to be fantastic for mining during the night, so very, very happy about that. So anyway, I'm going to head off to see Trader Bob. I'll bring you back when we get there. So we are just about to arrive at Trader Bob's. One thing that I've noticed now, being in this game for 46 days, is I'm starting to get really familiar with the map, and it's really nice. So I didn't even bother looking on the map as to where Trader Bob's was, because I just knew it was in this direction, and I suppose once you've been in a game long enough, that is something that naturally happens. But anyway, let's pop in and see what he's got.
Great prices.
Great prices, eh, Bob? Let's see what you've got. I'm more interested in great stock. Right. Okay, so secret stash. Nothing particularly great. I will take that book because I do want to learn how to make everything. Chemicals, we don't need gunpowder. Not really needing much food at the minute. Rebar frames I will take. I won't take the cement mixer, I've got quite a few of those now. What about other stuff though? Generator bank could come in handy. Do you know what, we'll buy that as well, why not? Always buy blade traps. They do take quite a bit to make, so it'd be a good idea to buy them, I suppose. Clothing we don't need. Resources, here we are. Ah, here we go, right. 1,000 cement, we will take it. 1,000 concrete mix. Pricey, but we'll take it. We've got the money. Another 100 cement, we'll take that too. This was a worthwhile trip. Happy with this. Right, okay. Starting to look pretty decent on the supplies that we're gathering. We don't really need the money for much else at the moment. And as we have basically just spent 10,000 here. We already craft all of our own ammo. We get a good amount of money from jobs and stuff like that, so we're not absolutely desperate for it. So we may as well put it to use for things that we actually are desperate for. But anyway, I've got to drive back to our base now. I'm going to have a quick check on the cement mixers. I did set 2 off, just making stone into sand, just to save us on that desert trip. But yeah, it's a lot of work that needs to be done between now and day 49. So let's get back to the base and see what we're looking like progress-wise. Back at the base, right, let's see how these cement mixers are getting on. So this is the benefit of having a few going at once. It just makes it so much easier when you are starting to gather your materials. These are the 2 that I've got making sand. They're going to take about half an hour each to have as a stack of 12,000 sand. We've got just under 2,300 concrete mix on these ones. Let's go and check on the 2 that are inside. There's another 450. And similar this side. So now we have just over 3,200. So why don't we go ahead and get these laid down? We are going to need to start melting down a lot more of our iron to make some more rebar frames, but we've got plenty of that for now. Very, very intense day in terms of resource gathering and mining and grinding and all that kind of stuff. This is a very grindy game the further you get into it. And for me, I love that. A lot of people aren't a fan of those type of games, and I completely understand why. But for me, I like this grind and putting the effort in to have something extra special. This thing is really starting to take shape. I'm liking the look of it so far. These are the initial walls, obviously. They're all starting to harden. If I had the time and the patience, I would look to paint it, but to be honest, I'm running out of patience with this thing now, so I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. But in this episode, I do want to get this bottom layer finished, so let's get back to placing rebar frames. Let's get back to filling up concrete. And let's get back to listening to some music on my end, because to be honest, doing this over and over again for we've been recording for about an hour and a half at this point, it gets a little boring, so wish me luck. We've done it! The first floor, or the first level rather, of this entire maze is now in place. That took forever. The good news about this now is we can just build upon it and go higher, but the bad news is there is so much more cement that needs to be gathered. What are these idiots doing over here, just punching the wall? What are you playing at? Hey! Go crazy, punching the wall. What's wrong with you people? There we go. Is there something in there? Something good? Just more zombies from what I can hear. Where are they? Oh, you're all punched the wall too! What's wrong with you people? Hopefully they will be confused by the walls in our maze, because that will be perfect. However, that is going to be all I have got time for today. I have done so much grinding today, but to be honest, the fruits of our labours are starting to come together. Why don't we, before we leave, have a little bit of a dry run, see if I can get to the other end of this maze. I'm not convinced I can. However, it will be interesting to see what it's like inside the maze. So, at the minute, it's not so bad because we can kind of see what level we're on. So we can kind of just run around. Are we still heading the right way? Possibly. Nope, that's a dead end. So this is going to be obviously way more difficult when we are all the walls are 3 high and we can't see a thing. But at the minute, it's not too bad. Do we go this way, maybe? I feel like if I go this way, I'm kind of making some progress. And is that going to be out? Yes, we did it. Hooray! We made it all the way through the maze. Obviously, one of the walls are 3 high and potentially there's a roof on this place. It's obviously not going to be that difficult. That easy, rather, to get through. See, I'm so confused by the maze. I'm so confused by the grind. I'm getting all my words mixed up. However, this is the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you're looking forward to the prospect of a horde night inside this wonderful maze. It has taken forever to complete, but now that I'm starting to see what it looks like, I'm starting to get a good vibe for it. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you haven't done it already, please leave a like. And if you're not subscribed, obviously do that too. And I will see you in the next one. Take care.